Hi, everybody. Claudia McMullen here, founder of Hugo Coffee Roasters and Hugo's Human. As you all know, we are a coffee roasting company with an animal welfare mission, and as you also probably know, we fulfill our mission by having fundraisers every weekly fundraisers for specific cash-strapped, volunteer-based animal welfare organizations around the country. And this morning we are here, and this week we are our beneficiary partner is Kobe Henro, and we're here today with the lovely Helaine from Kobe Henro. Good morning, Helaine.
Good morning, Claudia. How are you?
Awesome. Nice to see you again. We did a fundraiser for Kobe Henro back in May, and it was fantastic and very successful. And we're going to try to do it again for the holidays for the animals. So, Helaine, tell everybody, particularly the new people on, maybe new fans of yours, new fans of ours, what is it that Kobe Henro does, and what does that name mean?
Yes, well, thank you very much. I love working with you, Claudia and Beth, and Hugo is just awesome. So thank you for having me back again. And Kobe Henro is a pet food bank. We're based in Sudbury, Massachusetts, which is about 20 miles west of Boston.
Mhm.
And I launched it in October 2020, just when COVID was doing a pretty heavy job on things by then. And I saw a line at the food pantry, and it made me pause and think, how are these animals getting fed?
Mm-hmm.
And I launched Kobe Henro just a few days later. And since then, we really have not looked back. It's really taken off. At first, I was a little skeptical. Will there be a need? But there's actually very few freestanding pet food banks around. So that's kind of our niche. And the manufacturers, retailers have been incredibly generous. And we just basically flip the food from organizations to pets in need. It's food pantries and Southern rescues we're doing a lot of work with now.
So when you are giving the food, when you're collecting food for the animals, you then give the food, is it just for rescues that get the food, or can individuals also in need get food from you for their pets?
Yes, I do have some private people who do come to me. It's 100% confidential. I usually meet up with them at a neutral spot and provide them with food, because the last thing we want to do is have somebody have to surrender their pet who they love because of tough times. And sometimes you are a bit removed, you get caught up and you think about it. And sometimes I'll pause in the pet store and say, wow, this is $70. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I try to help those people out. A lot of them do go to the pantries, but some they don't want to go to the pantry. They're not comfortable. So I'm happy to support anybody who approaches me or contacts me privately.
That's lovely. So explain how you get the food from manufacturers, maybe from grocery stores, maybe from individual donations, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You accumulate the food, and then you donate the food to animal welfare organizations, rescues, sanctuaries, whatever. What is your geographic reach?
Well, right now, I'd say when I started last time we spoke, I was probably about 70-30 pantry to Southern rescues, and now it's pretty much flipped. So the pantries that I deal with are in my location within like a 20-mile radius. I have 5 or 6 who I deal with regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But the Southern rescues, what happens is I've added quite a few. So I have a new one from Texas and one I'm working with from Oklahoma. So private people come up with vans every 2 weeks. They drive between 30 to 40 hours each way. They come up with a van filled with adoptable pups that they usually get from death row. They rescue. Mm-hmm. And then they come up to this area and I meet the transport. They unload the dogs and then I load up their vans with food, and they turn around and go home and do it again in 2 weeks. So
that's amazing.
They're unbelievable.
How do they know of you?
A lot of networking. I bug a lot of people.
Yeah.
I ask and I hug them and it's a lot of networking. As you know, as a rescue person yourself, there's people who, oh, I love rescue. I want to help rescue. And then there's the real deep, heavy rescue folk, which I think we obviously both are. So we all know we kind of connect. There's a innate kind of connection and we just bond. So we want to help one another out.
I love the interconnectedness of the animal welfare world because, what we do, as you know, with these fundraisers is specifically because the work of animal welfare is done by these thousands of organizations that are cash strapped and volunteer based, and they're just passionate. They're just passionate about animal rescue, and they need money, and we know that our money has an immediate impact. That's why we do it. And it's the interconnectedness of the community that is so inspiring, and that they refer each other, refer you to other rescues and vice versa. And if they hear of a need, they'll reach out and you'll be around to help and others will be around to help. And I just think it's a beautiful community.
It is there. I mean, if I've always been kind of more of an animal person than a people person, I think. And this has just been, it's so heartwarming to see what these people are doing. And I mean, these transports, how they get these dogs, and they're saving lives. I mean, they are saving these animals. And I had my first real experience with a private transport. Usually they'll go to a shelter, but this one was private. She had a dozen dogs, and the families and the individual coming to get their dogs privately. And this dog came off. This dog was smiling. The dog knew he was going somewhere good. And the bond between them, and they hugged and they kissed, and it was beautiful. I mean, nothing is more beautiful to me than that. And they drove away and they're living their life together. And this dog would have not been around. I mean, I have 2 rescues, and if they weren't rescued, I mean, I love my dogs, obviously, and they wouldn't have made it. They both would have been put down. And, it's a big passion of mine. Before I leave this earth, I need to make sure that people just rescue dogs.
That's right. That's right.
And it's hard. The deeper you get into it, the more frustrating it gets, but it's also encouraging because there's great strides being made, and it's good to see.
Yeah. Now, speaking of your dogs, tell us a little bit about your dogs and where the name Kobe Henro comes from.
Oh, okay. So I have Henry, who is an 8-year-old lab, mastiff, terrier, everything mix. And I got him at Buddy Dog, which is a local shelter in my town. We got him at 8 weeks old. And I have Rosita, who's a Sato. She's from Puerto Rico. She's 5 years old. She is a lab, poodle, street dog. She has everything in it too. And I got them both at the shelter by me. So they're the Henro. So they're the Henro portion, Henry Rosita of Kobe Henro. And Kobe Cooley was my first dog I came home from college with her way back in the mid 1980s. She was my girl, She was my first real love. So I had her till she was 13. And then we got Belle. I have twins that are 26 now, and shortly after they were born, Cooley passed away, and then we got Belle, and she was a family dog for 13 and a half years. And she was a love. She was, boy, my kids used to climb on her, paint her nails, do her hair, and all that dog did was hug them and kiss them. So I used to say she was my 4th girl. She was special. They were all special.
So Kobe Henro is it's a nod to all of your rescues from your mid-20s on.
That's correct.
That's amazing. That's so awesome.
It is.
I should have thought of that when I named a coffee company instead of going with Hugo.
Hugo, no, that's good though. Hugo is Hugo. Everybody knows Hugo. I see Hugo stickers. Somebody had a Hugo sticker up on a window, and I said, "That's Hugo."
That's awesome. That's awesome. because I started rescuing and adopting at the same time in my mid-20s. And I remember my parents are like, "What are you doing? You're a single woman in New York. You have no business having a dog." And I'm like, "Calm down. Yes, I
Yeah.
do." And then I haven't had a moment, virtually not a moment since. So that's almost 40 years of me having rescue dogs.
Ah, okay, that's funny.
And
We're alike because I counted how many years I've lived. I'm 60, how many years I've lived without a dog, and I think it was just about 5 years. So
right,
55 of my 60 years.
yeah.
I have a
Between,
dog forever. I hope to be old and,
yep,
doing my thing and, just going along. And I hope to have a dog with me. It's in my genes. My
yep,
parents always had dogs, and my real dog love is definitely from my mom, who I just recently lost. But
I'm sorry.
her love for the animals is part of who I am. I mean,
Exactly. I
it's
mean,
so apparent to me.
it is crazy how much of a part it becomes of who you are.
Yes.
I mean, if you're like us, it's like
Right.
it's defining. It's a defining part of who we are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
No matter, you probably know from a different perspective, but running a coffee roasting company through a pandemic, through inflation, through supply chain issues, the past 2.5 years have been extremely stressful.
Oh yes,
And
sure.
and yet we still give back to animal rescue every week. And I still love what we do because we help animals.
Oh, you do. I mean, you look at your numbers, what you do, it's so gracious and generous what you do, because you're helping, you have a great product, and drink coffee, save dogs. I mean, that's a
Right?
beautiful little tagline you've got there. Yeah, it's kind of that's what you do, and
Right.
you love coffee, and you have delicious coffee, and
Right. And who
it's a
doesn't
good
love
thing.
coffee and animals, for God's sakes?
Yeah, that's a good life, huh?
That's right. That's right. So speaking of, tell us a little bit about, so one thing I wanted to bring up, of course, is that it's a week-long fundraiser. And I donate $2.50 for every item sold on the website during the course of the week. So if you're not a coffee drinker, don't worry about it. We have fantastic mugs, we have hats, we have shirts that say "Drink Coffee, Save Dogs." Like, who doesn't want to walk around with that? We have, so we have things other than coffee for people. But for every item sold on the website, we donate $2.50. Started Monday morning, ends midnight Sunday. So we still have 3.5 more days, Helaine, to sell, and get people to buy our fantastic coffee to help Kobe Henro. Now, along those lines, tell everybody, like, what kind of impact would a donation of $300 to $500 have on your organization?
Oh, that would be huge. Every penny that I raise goes to feeding the cats and dogs in need. So sometimes with all the Southern rescues, we've kind of grown into assisting. Sometimes there's a need for smaller breed rescue, kibble or canned food, or if there's a dietary restriction. So that will help me kind of fill up I have a pretty good supply, but I don't always have exactly what people are looking for. So that would help. And I'm always looking for a place to put my food, since I organize it in my own special way. So it's in my garage, and I know where the boxes are, and the dogs help me. So that's always pretty comical. Henry tends to open bags of cat food and consumes them rather rapidly. So I grab him. So I could use a real kind of shed or some structure that could
Yes.
house my food, and I could organize it, and I could just have a shelf of, cat food or kibble for dogs or small dogs, or, or kidney restricted food. So things like that.
Sure.
So storage I'm looking for, and food, obviously.
All right. And let's be real here. You're storing in your garage in winter in Massachusetts, which means your car is outside every night in the cold. And we need to stop that.
That is correct.
We need Helaine to get into a nice warm vehicle in the morning and not have to shovel around her car.
That is true. Thank you, Claudia. I appreciate that. That's,
My husband's out of town and we had snow last night. And I'm like, oh God, I guess I have to shovel.
yeah.
And like the idea of shoveling around a car in the cold, like, no, we need to help Helaine and Kobe Henro get a shed so she can pull her car in, damn it.
There you go.
All right, now Helaine, let's get the word out. We have 3.5 more days. Let's get everybody to buy the coffee because also the coffee is damn good.
It is. That it is.
We do not just rely on our mission. Our coffee is awesome.
Yes, and I just purchased a T-shirt too. I love drink coffee, save dogs. So, we all need, as somebody said to me when I started this early on, that it takes a village, and we're just villagers, and it's so true. But it's a pretty cool village to hang in because the rescued people they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
passionate.
you can't get a bigger heart, right?
No, and there's all types. You get people who are struggling. You get people who are financially very sound, and it's the love of dog and the love of rescue, and we just got to get the word out there to educate and spay and neuter so we can cut the numbers down. It sounds simple, but it clearly isn't. But they're making strides, so I have hope.
I do too. We have to, right?
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we can only do what we can do, which is to raise money, to raise awareness, to feed the animals, to make sure that they live out their natural life with love and compassion, and just like every sentient being deserves. So we just do what we can do, Helaine. That's all we can do.
That is true.
All right. Now, Helaine,
yes.
Sell. I will do the same. And I want to write you a big old check on Monday because I want to get your car out of that damn driveway and into the garage. And I want to get you a tough shed or something next door to your house to arrange the food for the animals because you're doing such amazing work. And it's just so inspiring that you were inspired during an awful time for everybody, especially, every human and every four-legged creatures alike. So thank you so much for everything you do at Kobe Henro.
And I thank you too. You've been wonderful. We just met. I responded, and Beth got and said, "You want to do a fundraiser?" And you have supported me through my little places where I go for little trade type shows, just events, and you always ask for a little coffee so I could spread the word. So I love to help you out as well too, because I'm loyal. So
and we really appreciate it. We're loyal. You're loyal. We just appreciate mutual helping each other is what we are about.
That's how it works. So
that's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Now, Helaine, you have a fantastic weekend. Fingers crossed that we kill it so that I can write you a big old check on Monday. And don't forget to tell your followers too that the stuff on the website makes fantastic Christmas gifts.
It does. Somebody said to me, "Oh, I think I'll gift that." I said, "That's a good idea."
Yes, and it's the 8th of December. That's like a perfect time.
Yeah, it's good, and it spreads the word. It's just all about just spreading the word and save those dogs and cats out there.
That's right. That's right.
They
so
need
now
help.
You have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk on Monday.
Okay, Claudia. Thank you so much.
All right, Helaine.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye.